Do you ever get to the point where you just throw your hands up and say, I'm done. This is not working for us. I cannot figure out how to get this worked into our regular schedule. So I am just going to leave it be and say, this isn't part of who we are as a homeschooling family. Hopefully so. Hopefully I'm not alone, but stick around for today's video and let's talk about it. I have tried so hard to be a read aloud family, to be the sit on the couch and cuddle together and read the books, and mom does the voices and it's just so fun and it's relaxing. And I've done morning, I've done after lunch, I've done afternoon, I have done all of the things. And I have finally reached the point where I am throwing my hands up and saying, we are not a read aloud family. As much as my heart just longs to be a read aloud family, it's just not happening at this point in our homeschool and in the season that we're in. That does not mean that I am giving up having books being read aloud. That just means read aloud is going to look a little different than maybe it does for most people, and a little bit different than what my heart would really prefer, because while my heart's desire is to snuggle up on the couch and read a chapter book together, it's just not working. I have done all of the tips and tricks. I have done all of the things, and it just doesn't work. So what that means is audiobooks. That just means instead of sitting down on the couch and me reading the chapter book, we will just listen to it together. And we have actually been doing this for a couple of weeks. Now, I must also pause here and say, yes, we have used audiobooks in the past, and it is not a new concept to our homeschool. However, there has always been this part of me that just really wanted to read the book. I wanted to be the one to read the chapter book, because while audiobook was okay, it just didn't feel the same. And so there's always been this desire to be the one to read the chapter book. But again, I've tried all the things. It's not working. So we're going audiobook. And so far, it's working so wonderfully. We actually really enjoy it. And I enjoy it because I get to just listen and enjoy the story. And we have already gotten through 2 books. I know, you're like, wow, has it been a week and you've gotten through 2 books in a week? No, it's been a couple of weeks. But hear me out. This is all new, okay? I'm just coming to terms with the idea that our read aloud time is going to be audiobooks. And we do spend some time in the car driving to outside commitments and things like that. So we do have a little bit of time each week that will be dedicated to listening to audiobooks. So that means moving forward, and as I am looking into school for next year, I'm going to keep that in mind. I really want to build in a read aloud time that works for us, or maybe even make sure that I am including read aloud time during lunch. I feel like that's kind of the time that right now is feeling normal and natural for a read aloud time. But whatever our schedule looks like next year, I now actually feel a little bit of relief and a little bit more confident in our ability to actually get some of the books done that we want to get done. I do still have a few more on our list that I want to complete, and I'm going to try one last push when we're actually through with our school and it's just kind of our off time. I'm actually going to try and use some of that time to see if I can build in some read aloud time with just her and I. We won't have any other schoolwork happening and it'll be very light. And that is the time of year that we lean in a little bit more to our picture books, our fall picture books, and Thanksgiving, Christmas, that kind of deal. And so I am going to try I'm going to try and see if I can work in a time that we get Read Aloud in during that period, just kind of that off season. So we're still getting some reading in, but also realizing that maybe that won't work and maybe we just stick with audiobooks. So while it seems as though I have failed as the Read Aloud mom I wished to be, it's okay. And I'm fine with it because audiobooks are also a phenomenal option. And it really allows me the ability to enjoy the books as well. And sometimes the audiobooks honestly are just better. It's just better to have somebody else reading it and their fun voices. And sometimes there's the background music and songs and things. And so it just makes it an enjoyable experience. Another really awesome thing that actually came out of my quest to get better at including read alouds was my daughter actually got more consistent with her independent reading. I actually created an entire reading feast printable to help encourage her in her independent reading and getting her excited for the books that she would be reading this year. And that worked wonders. And she has done so well with her independent reading this year. If you want to learn more about that Reading Feast printable and what that looks like and how I incorporated all of that into our homeschool, check out this video here. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.